Hello, grade 9 students. This is English class. Today we move on to chapter 6, unit 16a, which is on page 104 and 105. So let's start with part 1. So in part 1 we have crossword puzzle. You have to complete puzzle with the words from the box. So the word from the box we have biscuit, chop, cookie, fairy tale, forest, lost, housework, stepmother, trail, nasty, and woodcutter. And then we have the word across mean from left to right and down mean from the upper to the lower side. So I will read for you first. For the word from left to right, we have number 3, which is here. Number 3 is a small flat cake that is dry and usually sweet. Number 6, to cut into pieces. Number 9, jobs in the home such as cooking and cleaning. Number 10, a woman married to one's father after the divorce of one's parents or the death of one's mother. 11, a mark or a series of signs or objects left behind when someone walks. So let's move on to the words from the upper side to the down side. We have number 1, a person who cuts wood. Number 2, a story in which unlikely events lead to a happy ending. Number 4, a large area covered with trees. Number 5, mean and unpleasant. Number 7, a sweet biscuit. And number 8, not able to be found. So you can look at it and think about what words that you need to complete. I give you time and then let's check the answer with me. So let's do it now. Alright, it's time to check your answer with the correct answer. So let's check the words from left to right first. Number 3 is biscuit. Number 6 is chop. Number 9, housework. Number 10, stepmother. 11, trail. Let's move on to the words from the upper side to the lower side. Number 1, woodcutter. 2, fairy tale. 4, forest. 5, nasty. 7, cookie. 8, lost. So if you got all correct answers, congratulations. So let's check. When you write in your textbook, you have to put a 1 letter in 1 box. So please check with me. The first one is number 3. It's biscuit. And then the downside is woodcutter. Next one, chop. Next, housework. Next one, number 10. Next one, 11. Now the words from the top to the bottom. So we start with number 2. Then number 4. Then number 5. And then number 7. And the last one is number 8. So did you get the correct answer and did you write and put it in the correct box. In today's lesson, we are going to study a story. Its title is Hansel and Gretel. So I have some pictures. You can look at these pictures first to get some ideas about who are in the story and what are going to happen in this story. This is just the first part of the whole story. So you can look at it. We have 4 characters: the mother, the father, the son, and the daughter. And then next, what happened, and then what happened. You can look at these pictures and you may get some ideas about the story. So let's look at part 3. In part 3, you need to listen and then choose the correct word that completes the sentence. So in A, in a faraway land, a poor woodcutter lived or was living with his family. B, the 2 children stayed at home with their stepmother. C, they were doing or did all the housework. D, the children listened or were listening to their nasty stepmother's plan when Gretel began to cry. E, they were following or followed their father into the forest. F, I'm frightened, said or says Gretel. Father isn't coming back. It's cold and dark, and we are lost. G, there were large cookies on the roof. H, Hansel had pulled a basket off the wall and gave it to Gretel. I, while they were eating or ate the bits of the house, the chocolate door suddenly opened, and an ugly old woman was came out and said, "Hello, who's eating my house?" So in this part, you need to listen to the recording and then you need to decide which one is the correct answer. So let's listen to the recording together.
Tape script 6.16.1. In a faraway land, a poor woodcutter lived with his family. He had 2 lovely children. The boy was called Hansel, and the girl was called Gretel. They lived in a small house near a forest. They were very happy together. Then one day, their mother died, and the woodcutter got married again. His new wife, their stepmother, didn't like the 2 children. Every day the woodcutter went to work in the forest. The 2 children stayed at home with their nasty stepmother. Their stepmother was very unkind to them. Gretel washed the floors. "Hansel, bring the firewood now," she shouted. They did all the housework. One day, the woodcutter was ill. He could not chop wood. He was ill all winter. The family had no money, and there wasn't enough food. That night, the nasty stepmother said to her husband, "You must take the children into the forest and leave them there." "I can't do that. I love them," said the woodcutter. "But we don't have enough food," said his wife. "Take them tomorrow and leave them." The children were listening to their nasty stepmother's plan when Gretel began to cry. Hansel hugged his sister. "Don't cry, Gretel. I have a plan too," he said. In the morning, the children went to the forest with their father. When their stepmother had given them 2 slices of bread for breakfast before they left, Hansel put the bread in his pocket. Then they followed their father far into the forest. While he was walking behind his father and his sister, Hansel dropped the pieces of bread on the ground. He was leaving a trail to find their way back home. Unfortunately, some birds were following them and eating the bread. Hansel, Gretel, and their father walked and walked. "You must be tired," said their father. "Let's stop here. I'll go and collect some wood. Then we'll go home. You wait for me here." Hansel and Gretel were very tired. They sat on the ground and waited for their father. Soon they went to sleep. When they woke up, It was dark. "I'm frightened," said Gretel. "Father isn't coming back. It's cold and dark, and we are lost." "Don't worry," said Hansel. "I'll look after you." The children were lost. They walked one way, then they walked another way, but they couldn't find their house. Suddenly, they saw a very strange house. "Wow! Look at that house," said Hansel. It really was a very strange house. There were chocolate cookies on the roof, there were biscuits and nuts on the walls, and it had a big chocolate door. Said Gretel. "I'm very hungry. Let's eat some biscuits." "Okay," said Hansel. "I'm very hungry too. Let's eat some chocolate." The two children ran up to the house. Hansel pulled a biscuit off the wall and gave it to Gretel. Then he took a piece of chocolate. While they were eating the bits of the house, the chocolate door suddenly opened, and an ugly old woman came out and said, "Hello, who's eating my house?" "We're very sorry," said Hansel. "That's okay. You must be hungry," she said. "Come inside and have some breakfast." End of tape script 6.16.1.
Now, let's start checking your answer with the correct answer. Letter A, the correct answer is lived, with D at the end. It is in past simple. B, stayed, with ed at the end. It is also the past simple. C, did, it is the past simple. Did, it is from the word do in present, and in the past we use did. D, the answer is were listening. It is in the past continuous tense. E, followed. F, said. G, were. H, pulled. And I, were eating. Did you guys get all the correct answer? If you get all correct answer, congratulations. Now let's go to part 4. In part 4, it is the explanation. When there are two tenses together, the first tense is past simple and the second tense is past continuous. So when you want to tell the stories, we use different forms of the past tense. It is called narrative tenses. So we use past simple to explain the main events in the story, and the past continuous to describe longer actions interrupted by a shorter action. Means something was happening and then another action interrupted. And then you go to part 5, you have to use the correct form of the word in the brackets to complete the story. So in the bracket, we have get up, have, make, put on, not take, get ready, pick up, open, ring, be, call, cannot meet, and have. So you need to listen and then you have to complete each of the blank.
Tape script 6.16.2.
This morning, I got up around 6 o'clock and had a shower. Then I made myself a cup of juice and some rice. After that, I put on my uniform for school. It didn't take long, as I had laid it out last night. Finally, I got ready to leave the house. I picked up my school bag containing the things I had packed the night before. As I was opening the front door, the phone rang. It was Hyung. We had arranged to meet this morning to discuss our homework, but she was calling to say she couldn't meet me because her bicycle had a flat tire.
End of tape script 6.16.2.
Now it's time for you to check your answer. So the first one, got up. The second, had. Third, made. Fourth, put on. Fifth, didn't take. Sixth, got ready. Seventh, picked up, 8th was opening, 9 rang, 10th was, 11th was calling, 12th couldn't meet, and 13 had. I hope you guys got the correct answer. So if you got 100% correct, congratulations. But if you cannot get 100% correct, it's okay, just change to the correct answer and learn from the mistake. Thank you so much for watching this video.